I have 5 stocks that you should absolutely be watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. And do you know which letter of the alphabet is the laziest? It's the letter E, because it's always in bed. All right, so check this out. We have technicals for SOFI, RIVN, Tesla, Boeing, and FedEx. Each one of them, I think, has a highly interesting chart that could be very much worth our while, especially if you use options like I do. If you guys want to know what I'm buying and selling, I'll tell you later about the Patreon, about my options course, which I just added to today, and then also how you can learn how to do technical analysis like I do. In the meantime, I do want to get over into the charts. So let me pop that down, and I'll pop up the first chart for you, and we're going to kick things off with SOFI. So SOFI, what we're looking at right now, check out the run that we've been on for SOFI, a lot of the ups and downs that we've had, but we're forming this trend line that you see, this longer white line that's here. It's actually a ray that you see drawn on, and then we have a more minor one that's here. And I want to draw your attention towards the more recent price action that we have, where we came down and actually found support right at the 200-day, which is not surprising for SOFI. However, where are we going from here? Well, we have room to the downside as per the momentum for the RSI. We are not in the oversold territory for that yet. However, I think we have room down to the $7 mark for this. Where did we close things at for the week last week? $7.89, just shy of that $8 mark. So we could actually find support, and that would be bullish here. And we can watch the moving averages that you see on here, the yellow, red, and green that we have on here. The green is the 5, the yellow is the 13, and the red is the 50. And using those moving averages, we can actually start to look and see when this thing is going to turn around and then play it on the upside of this. Right now, it is signaling bearish. The 200-day support, should we break down through that, we do have room down to that $7 mark for SOFI, and I think we're going to find firm support for that. And the earnings date that we have for this is on January the 29th. So should we come down to that $7 mark, I think that it's possible that leading up to those earnings that we start to really rally in that stock price and we start to find a lot of strength coming into it. And if not, if we sell off instead, or if we stay down low on the prices, I think that we could really find a huge pop coming off of our earnings as that earning date comes up. So we're going to be watching for this. So breaking down through support is what I'm watching for. I'm looking for that bullish turnaround to really make bank on some call options for that, and possibly even selling some put options, because I am a long-term holder of SOFI stock, and getting cheaper SOFI stock is even better for me. So buying lots of 100 at a time, not a bad idea. As for my own portfolio, you have to make your decisions for your own. Let's check out RIVN. RIVN, I can't tell you if I'm going to do calls or puts on this. I can tell you right now, it is flashing bearish, seeing that we are currently under the 200-day on this one, and we're definitely under the 50 as well. And we could possibly enter into a period of free fall all the way down until we get to somewhere around like 1650-ish is about where I could see that going for RIVN. If we do continue to sell off down through here, it is possible right now that we do start to find support. We're going to have to find out, but I do think we're going to keep on falling for a little bit yet. I think we're going to find support on this bottom trend line. This is a symmetric triangle pattern that we see here. Let me shrink that up a little bit so we can see it better on our screens. And this is a continuation pattern, a consolidation pattern, I should say, that should we break down through the bottom, that we could keep on traveling downward for a little while, although I think the all-time low for this is right around $12 per share. So be on the lookout for that, because there would be most definitely a bottom to this. There is also the possibility that we break through the upside of this, and should we break through the upside, that can be very bullish for us. So we want to watch for the break in the trend lines, and that can really happen any day now. The earnings for RIVN stock, by the way, as per what we have here on TradingView, that earnings date is looking like February the 21st, so we're going to have to watch and see what happens there. Now, mind you, a major catalyst for that could be Tesla earnings itself, and Tesla also has that symmetric triangle view that we're looking at right now. Another consolidation pattern, or the same one as last time. We are currently near the oversold territory on this one. We're at the bottom of that trend line. It is possible that we keep on pushing down through here. Maybe we form a double bottom. Maybe it's one where we actually bounce and start heading back up to the top, in which case we could have possibly an inverse head and shoulders forming for us. Left shoulder, head, and then possibly right shoulder. That's if the price happens to move up this way, in which case we need to break the neckline, which would be this trend line that you see coming down through here on the top of the symmetric triangle pattern. So we're going to have to watch and see as Tesla earnings come out, which is on January the 24th after the market closes. That is a Wednesday. We want to be on the lookout for that. So this is Tesla that we're looking at, and I also have a Tesla stock price prediction and earnings projection available over at the Patreon right now. So if you want to see what I think is going to happen with Tesla stock for their earnings, you can click the link down below for the Patreon, and you can get access to that right now, along with my options course that is also over there. If you want to learn how to amplify the power of your portfolio through the use of options, you can check that out as well. And if you want to learn more about technical analysis, there is a course through Stockmo Academy right now. I do have a chapter in this on options. If you want to check that out, you can also do that, and you get hours of video, practice testing, lifetime access to the course in the Mo's Academy. Really, if you want to learn more about technical analysis, that really is a clean and easy place to find out about it, with support coming in through the way of those live videos, and then also that Discord that's over there as well. Use the coupon code TRADE for massive savings. Go ahead and check that out. Let's get back to the charts now. We'll pop Tesla back up here. So for Tesla, this is one, the lower we swing into those earnings could be a very good thing for us for bullishness for those earnings. We did cross down below the 200-day, so we want to keep an eye on that because that is bearish. But like I said, on the daily charts, we're near that oversold territory. If we go out to the weekly charts, as we look at this, we have just broken down below 50, which actually starts can be the beginning of a long-term, more bearish trend. So we want to be on the lookout for that. Now, mind you, if we do break down below that, I think we could catch support right at about that $200 level. I think that's very firm support for us, and that could actually bounce and turn us into a double bottom rather than possibly this inverse head and shoulders that we could be seeing right now. And if we break down through 200, well, we could keep on falling down from there down to about the 185 level. So we'll be watching for that. Should we recover back up from here, the top of this formation is like 250 to 260 as you look at this, and that's significantly up, about 10%, over 10% up from where it most recently closed. So that is also something that can be very good for us. Matter of fact, I think it's closer to 15% up. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. Boeing is one that isn't Boeing at all, isn't boring at all. As a matter of fact, it's very exciting being that we're down near the 200-day simple moving average. We are also down below the 50. Could we get the death cross coming out of this? Well, I can tell you that Boeing is one that tends to actually break down through its 200-day a lot. It doesn't often find firm support there. So being that that's the case, we could follow this trend line down, and maybe we break down through that round number support of that $200 per share for Boeing. And it is also possible to push all the way down into the high 180s, low 190s, depending on where we should happen to fall in this. Now, to mind you, there is also the possibility that we find support right here, being as that we are at near that oversold territory. It depends on how much bad news keeps on coming out for Boeing and how the stock price keeps on reacting to it. But we do want to watch for those signals. Should we break down through that 200-day, what we want to watch for is the break, followed by a retest of the 200-day, followed by a further drop. That could most definitely happen to us. We could also watch for an initial bounce off the 200-day, which could possibly take us back up to about $230 per share, which is pretty significant considering that it closed at $217, so $13 up from where it's at right now, and right around that 230 mark. That can be further resistance for us to the upside, and should we hit that and get rejected, then we could also see that drop back down through the 200-day. So we'll be watching for that. That could set up a wonderful short opportunity, which then could turn around, should we come to the bottom trend line here, could turn around into a wonderful, wonderful bounce and a wonderful long opportunity for Boeing as well. So I think it's very interesting as we look at it. The last one that I have for you is FedEx. FedEx, here comes the 200-day coming up this way. I said we could possibly bounce on it, and we did. We came up and we almost got to the 50-day, bounced, and now we're heading back up again. Should we come back down the 200-day, that could turn out to be bearish for us. We need to be on the lookout for that. You'll notice some of these smaller trend lines that I have in here, we are narrowing on a price, and that price that we're wiggling around is right around $250 per share, just on the south side of $250 per share for FedEx. So that could be that battle that is currently being tested now to find out what's being won. Should we drop to the low side of that, we could keep going lower. And should we end up finding support at that 250 and pushing up through the top of this trend line here, that could be very good for us as well. Let me reset the chart view so we can get a better view of it. We could actually come back up and retest the 50, which is around 255, so about 2% up. This is one you're going to find most likely cheaper options because it doesn't really move as much. It should have a lower implied volatility, so it's less risk capital relative to the price that it is for the underlying security. And so that's just one that you should check out over time. But I can tell you, from what I see right here, we're getting into a very, very interesting time where it's being decided, should we fall down through the 200-day down here and retest some of these other supports, possibly down to 230, or even finding this historic support that we have at about 225, and then we could possibly double bottom from there and start heading back up. I think that regardless of what we do, I think there's a possible, if we go, especially if we go bearish, there's a strong secondary move for bullishness coming back up off of FedEx. We're going to have to watch for it. So every one of these stocks that I have for you has incredible opportunity for sudden movement sometime soon. And with that big volatility through that sudden movement could be excellent put options purchased, or that you could have call options also purchased, depending on the direction. Should we drop or should we pop? We got to watch for both of those things. These are all on my watch list. They're all on my radar, and I'm bringing them here to YouTube to check out, and I will let you know should I make moves on those. I'll bring them back to YouTube and tell you about them. If you want to find out about them when they happen, that is available over at my Discord, available through the Patreon. That link is down in the description. If you want that Tesla stock price prediction and earnings projection, that is also on the Patreon. If you want my options course, that is also on the Patreon. And for the technical analysis trading course, use the coupon code TRADE for massive savings. And I'll tell you what, by investing in yourself, this is something that can have massive returns coming back your way. It really is an incredible course that is clean and easy and well put together. And as a doctor of education, I really do give it the seal of approval for myself. As a matter of fact, I even have my own chapter in there. Go ahead, guys, check out the link for the Patreon, check out the link for the technical analysis course, and keep on checking in back here on YouTube for further updates on these stocks and opportunities as I find them. As always, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.